Victoria Ashford slammed her hand on the desk and pointed straight at Marcus Kane's face. Security, get this man out. People like you don't touch $40 million. This isn't a rap video set. Marcus didn't move, didn't blink. 50 people watched. Phones recorded. He reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, dialed one number. Diane, it's Marcus. Bring the wolves. Burn it all down. He hung up. Looked Victoria dead in the eyes. You just ended your own career. Before we dive into this incredible story, please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and follow Marcus's journey all the way to the end. Drop a comment telling me which city you're watching from. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Now let's get into it. 60 seconds earlier. Marcus Kane walked through the door of Sterling Crown Real Estate at exactly 10:00 a.m. Victoria Ashford looked up from her desk. Her smile died instantly. Sir, can I help you? Westbrook Penthouse, 40 million. I have a 10 o'clock appointment. Name, Marcus Kane. Victoria didn't check her tablet. Didn't look at her screen. She just stared at him. We don't have any appointment under that name. I confirmed with Harrison Cole yesterday. Mr. Cole is very busy. He speaks to many people. He confirmed my viewing, personally. Victoria tilted her head. Sir, do you understand what property you're asking about? This is $40 million. I'm aware of the price. Then you understand we need verification, proof of funds, background checks. I submitted everything 3 days ago. I haven't received anything. That's your problem, not mine. Victoria's eyes hardened. Excuse me. I said that's your problem. Check your system, call your assistant, do your job. My job is to protect our clients from fraud. Fraud. People walk in here every day, claiming to be something they're not. Marcus felt the shift, the temperature dropping, the mask slipping. What exactly are you suggesting? Victoria leaned forward. I'm suggesting that someone like you doesn't just walk in off the street and buy a $40 million property. Someone like me. You heard me. Say it clearly. I don't need to. Say it. Victoria stood up. Her voice rose. Fine. You want me to say it? I don't believe you. I don't believe your appointment. I don't believe your documentation. And I don't believe someone like you has $40 million to spend on anything. The showroom went silent. There it is, Marcus said quietly. There's what? The truth. Finally. I'm being realistic. I'm protecting this company from what? A black man with money. Victoria's face flushed. That's not what I said. That's exactly what you said. You just used different words. I am not racist. You just told me I don't belong here because of how I look. What do you call that? I call it common sense. I call it experience. I've worked in this industry for 12 years, and I know exactly what kind of person can afford these properties. And you are not that person. Marcus pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Calling Harrison Cole. He won't take your call. He will. The phone rang twice. Marcus. Harrison Cole's voice came through clearly. Are you at the office? Victoria should be taking care of you. Victoria's face went white. Harrison, there seems to be some confusion. Your senior broker just told me that people like me don't touch $40 million properties. She called security. She accused me of fraud. Would you like to come down and clarify things? Silence on the line. I'll be there in 2 minutes. Marcus hung up. Victoria's hands were shaking. That doesn't prove anything. Anyone can fake a phone call. You want to bet your career on that? You're trying to intimidate me. No, I'm trying to buy an apartment. You're the one who made it about race. I did not. 50 people just heard you. 12 phones are recording us right now. Do you want to keep talking? Victoria's eyes darted around the room. She finally noticed the phones, the stairs, the witnesses. Security. Two guards appeared. Jerome Watts, black, mid-50s. His eyes found Marcus immediately. Recognition, understanding. Brad Collins, white, 20s, hand already on his radio. "This man is harassing me," Victoria announced. "He's threatening me. Remove him from the building." Jerome didn't move. Brad stepped forward eagerly. "Sir, you need to leave." "I have an appointment." "Ma'am says you're trespassing." "Ma'am is wrong." Brad grabbed Marcus's arm. "Let's go." Jerome's voice cut through. "Brad, stop." "What?" "Let go of him." She said. "I don't care what she said. Let go." Brad's grip tightened. "He's resisting. He's standing still. You're the one escalating. Let go." Brad looked at Victoria. Victoria nodded sharply. "Remove him." Brad pulled harder. Marcus didn't resist, didn't fight, just looked at Jerome. "You're going to regret this," Marcus said calmly. "Not you, Jerome, but everyone else in this room." Victoria laughed. "Is that a threat? It's a prophecy. Get him out." Brad yanked Marcus toward the door. That's when a voice cut through the chaos. "Stop, yet." Elena Cross pushed through the crowd. 29 years old, associate broker, 2 years at Sterling Crown, 2 years of watching and staying silent. Not anymore. "Victoria, stop this right now." "Elena, this doesn't concern you." "Yes, it does. I know who this man is. He's a fraud trying to..." "He's Marcus Kane, founder of Kane Equity Partners, net worth $3.1 billion. He was on the cover of Forbes 6 months ago." The color drained from Victoria's face. That's not possible." "I watched his CNBC interview 3 times. I recognize his face. I recognize his voice. And I just watched you humiliate him in front of 50 witnesses." Brad released Marcus's arm like it was on fire. Victoria's voice cracked. "He could be anyone. He could be impersonating..." "Check his ID," Elena said. "Right now. Verify his account. Do your actual job instead of your assumptions." "You don't get to tell me." "Someone needs to tell you. Because what you just did is illegal. It's discrimination. And there are 12 phones recording every second of it." Victoria turned to Jerome. "Remove her too." Jerome didn't move. "I don't follow illegal orders." "Excuse me. You asked me to remove a man for being black in a real estate office. That's discrimination. I won't be part of it. You work for me. I work for Sterling Crown, not for your prejudices." The elevator doors opened. Harrison Cole stepped out. 63 years old, silver hair, power suit, the kind of man who made problems disappear. His eyes swept the scene. Victoria's flushed face, Marcus standing calmly, Elena trembling but defiant, Jerome stone-faced, Brad confused. "Mr. Kane." Harrison walked straight to Marcus and extended his hand. "I apologize for this confusion. Please let's go to my office." "No." Harrison blinked. "I'm sorry. We're not going anywhere. We're going to finish this right here, in front of everyone." "Mr. Kane, I understand you're upset. Your employee just told me that people like me don't belong here. She accused me of fraud. She called security. She tried to have me physically removed from your building. Because I'm black." Harrison's jaw tightened. "Victoria, is this true?" He was being aggressive. "Answer the question." "I was following protocol." "Answer the question." Harrison's roar echoed through the marble lobby. Victoria flinched. I questioned his ability to afford the property." "Based on what?" Silence. "Based on what, Victoria?" I made an assumption." "What assumption?" Victoria's voice dropped to a whisper. "I assumed he couldn't afford it." "Why?" "I don't know." "You know exactly why. Say it." Harrison, please. Say it. Because he's black. Okay, because black men don't buy $40 million apartments. They just don't. It's not racist. It's statistics. It's reality. It's enough. Harrison's voice was ice. Victoria stopped mid-sentence. You're suspended. Effective immediately. Clear your desk. HR will contact you. Harrison, you can't do this. We're nothing. Not anymore. Brad, escort Ms. Ashford to her office. She's not to speak to anyone or access any files. Victoria's face contorted. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Brad led Victoria away. Her heels clicked furiously against the marble. Harrison turned to Marcus. Mr. Kane, I cannot express how sorry. Save it. Please let me make this right. The Westbrook property, whatever you want. I don't want your property. I don't want your apology. I don't want anything from Sterling Crown. Then what do you want? Marcus stepped closer. His voice was quiet, but carried across the silent lobby. I want you to explain why your senior broker felt comfortable saying those things in public. I want you to explain why she assumed she could discriminate against me without consequences. I want you to explain what kind of company culture creates someone like Victoria Ashford. Harrison had no answer. You can't explain it, Marcus continued, because you already know. This isn't about one employee. This is about a system. Your system. That's not fair. Fair. You want to talk about fair? I've spent 30 years building my company. 30 years proving myself to people who decided I was worthless before I opened my mouth. And today, I walked into your building and your employee treated me like a criminal because of the color of my skin. Tell me what's fair about that. Harrison's face was pale. What do you want me to do? I want you to pray that I don't do what I'm about to do, which is burn your entire empire to the ground. Marcus turned to leave. Elena caught up with him at the door. Mr. Kane, wait. He stopped, but didn't turn. I have files, documentation, internal emails. Victoria wasn't acting alone. This comes from the top. Now Marcus turned. What are you saying? I'm saying there's a system, a policy. They call it demographic optimization. It's code for keeping people of color out of premium properties. You have proof. 18 months of it. I was too scared to do anything, but not anymore. Marcus studied her face. Young, terrified, but something fierce in her eyes. You know what this will cost you. I just destroyed my career in front of 50 witnesses. I think I already know. It'll cost more than your career. I don't care. Why? Elena's voice cracked. Because I have a younger brother. He's 17, wants to be an architect. And I keep thinking, what happens when he walks into a building like this? What happens when someone like Victoria decides he doesn't belong? Marcus was silent for a long moment. What's your name? Elena Cross. Elena, you just made a very brave choice, and a very dangerous one. I know. They're going to come after you. They're going to try to destroy you. Let them try. Marcus pulled out a card. This is my lawyer, Diane Mercer. Call her. Tell her I sent you. Tell her everything. Elena took the card with shaking hands. What happens now? Now. Marcus looked back at the lobby, at Harrison Cole standing frozen, at the phones still recording, at the empire that was about to crumble. Now we go to war. Elena watched Marcus Kane walk out the door. Her phone buzzed. Text from Derek, her fiancé. WTF, Elena Harrison just called. Are you insane? She didn't respond. Another buzz. Call me right now. She turned off her phone. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was pounding. She had just destroyed everything she'd built, and she had never felt more alive. Victoria Ashford sat in her office. Desk cleared. Security standing at the door. Her phone rang. Private number. Hello. Victoria, it's Harrison. We need to talk. Harrison, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Shut up. Listen. That man you just insulted. He's not just rich. He's connected. Forbes, CNBC, Wall Street Journal. He has relationships with governors, senators, CEOs. If he decides to come after us, we're finished. He's bluffing. He's not. I've seen what he does to companies that cross him. He doesn't sue. He annihilates. So what do? We contain this. The videos are already spreading online. We need to get ahead of it. How? I don't know yet. But Victoria, whatever happens, you were acting alone. Understand? This was your decision, your prejudice. Sterling Crown has zero tolerance for discrimination. Victoria felt cold. Harrison, you're the one who told me to be careful about certain demographics. I never said anything like that. I never would. And if you suggest otherwise, I will personally destroy what's left of your career. You can't do this to me. I already am. The line went dead. Victoria stared at her phone. 10 years she'd given this company. 10 years of working her way up. 10 years of being Harrison's golden girl. And now she was being thrown away like garbage. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Hello. Victoria Ashford. A man's voice. Deep, professional. Yes. My name is Thaddeus Price. I work for Marcus Kane. I'm calling to inform you that Mr. Kane intends to file a federal discrimination lawsuit against Sterling Crown Real Estate. Your name will be prominently featured. Victoria's blood ran cold. He can't do that. He can and will. However, Mr. Kane is a reasonable man. He's authorized me to offer you a choice. What choice? Cooperate with our investigation. Provide documentation of Sterling Crown's discriminatory practices. Testify against Harrison Cole. You want me to betray Harrison? I want you to save yourself. Because right now, you're the only face on those viral videos. You're the only name people recognize. You're the sacrificial lamb. Harrison will throw you to the wolves and walk away clean. Victoria's hands trembled. And if I cooperate, then you become a witness instead of a defendant. Your name gets mentioned once and forgotten. Harrison Cole becomes the story. I need to think about this. You have 24 hours. After that, the offer expires and you become our primary target. This is blackmail. This is justice. You have my number. Click. Tin. Marcus sat in the back of his car, phone pressed to his ear. Thad. What's the status? Victoria's scared. She'll flip within 48 hours. Good. What about the girl Elena? She's genuine. My people already verified her story. She's been documenting discrimination at Sterling Crown for 18 months. Emails, meeting notes, voice recordings. Voice recordings. New York is a one-party consent state. Everything she recorded is admissible. How much does she have? Enough to bury them. Marcus, this goes deeper than Victoria. I'm seeing patterns. Systematic steering of minority clients away from premium properties. Falsified rejection letters. Coded file systems. How high does it go? All the way. Harrison Cole signed off on the policies himself. Marcus closed his eyes. I knew it. What do you want to do? Contact Diane. Tell her we're accelerating the timeline. I want the lawsuit filed by end of week. That's fast. That's necessary. The videos are spreading. Public attention is at peak. We strike now while everyone's watching. Understood. Anything else? The girl, Elena. Make sure she's protected. Protected how? She just made herself a target. Sterling Crown will try to discredit her. Silence her. We can't let that happen. I'll put someone on her. Thad. Yeah. Thank you. For everything. Don't thank me yet. This is going to get ugly. I know. That's what I'm counting on. Elena walked into her apartment and collapsed on the couch. What had she done? 2 hours ago, she had a career, a future, a plan. Now she had nothing but a business card and a promise of war. Her phone rang. She'd turned it back on out of habit. Derek's name flashed on the screen. She answered. Derek? What the hell were you thinking? I did the right thing. The right thing? You publicly accused our biggest broker of racism in front of clients, in front of cameras. She was racist. You should have heard what she said. I don't care what she said. Do you understand what you've done? Harrison is furious. He's talking about auditing every deal I've ever touched. He's talking about making sure neither of us ever works in real estate again. Then maybe that's what needs to happen. Are you hearing yourself? You destroyed our lives for a stranger. He's not a stranger. He's a human being who is being humiliated because of his skin color. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need your help. Someone needed to say something. Why did it have to be you? Because nobody else would. Silence. When Derek spoke again, his voice was cold. I can't do this, Elena. I can't watch you throw everything away. Derek. We're done. What? I said we're done. I'm not going down with you. I'm not destroying my career because you wanted to play hero. I wasn't playing anything. I was standing up for what's right. Then you can stand alone. The line went dead. Elena stared at her phone. 3 years. 3 years of building a life together, planning a wedding, dreaming about a future. Gone in one phone call. She should cry. She knew she should cry. But all she felt was empty. At 11:47 p.m., her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. You made a mistake. Elena opened the message. Photos. Personal photos. Intimate photos she'd sent to Derek years ago. Her heart stopped. Another message. Withdraw your allegations. Delete your evidence. Disappear, or these go public. Elena's hands shook. Derek. It had to be Derek. He was the only one who had these photos. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered, her voice barely a whisper. Who is this? A friend. The voice was distorted, mechanical. I'm trying to help you. By threatening me. By warning you. You're in over your head, Ms. Cross. Sterling Crown has resources you can't imagine. Connections you can't fight. I'm not afraid of you. You should be. We know where you live. We know where your parents live. We know about your sister's medical condition. Elena's blood froze. Lucy. Her 24-year-old sister. Stage 3 lymphoma. Don't you dare. Walk away now and your family stays safe. Your secret stays secret. Your life goes back to normal. Normal after what I saw today. That's your choice. Make the right one. And if I don't, then everything falls apart, starting with your sister's experimental treatment. It would be tragic if her insurance suddenly had complications. Elena felt sick. You're monsters. We're businessmen. There's a difference. There's no difference. 24 hours, Ms. Cross. Think carefully. Click. Elena sat in darkness for an hour. Fear and rage wrestling for control. She should walk away. Protect her family. Save her sister. But she kept seeing Marcus Kane's face. The dignity when he refused to be diminished. The calm when Victoria attacked him. She kept hearing Victoria's words. People like you don't belong here. She kept thinking about her brother. 17 years old. Dreams of being an architect. What happens when someone tells him he doesn't belong? She picked up her phone. Dialed the number on the business card. Diane Mercer's office. My name is Elena Cross. Marcus Kane gave me this number. I have evidence. And I'm being threatened. Hold, please. 30 seconds later, a new voice. Older. Sharper. Ms. Cross, this is Diane Mercer. Tell me everything. The next morning, Marcus Kane held a press conference. 50 reporters, 20 cameras, national coverage. He stood at the podium calm and composed. Yesterday, I walked into Sterling Crown Real Estate to view a property. I had an appointment, I had documentation, I had $40 million ready to transfer. He paused. I was told that people like me don't touch $40 million properties. I was accused of fraud. Security was called. I was threatened with arrest, all because of the color of my skin. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. This isn't about me. I'm a billionaire. I have resources to fight back. But what about the people who don't? What about the black families turned away from homes? The Hispanic entrepreneurs denied business loans. The Asian investors steered toward lesser properties. He leaned into the microphone. Sterling Crown Real Estate has been systematically discriminating against people of color for over a decade. I have evidence. I have witnesses. And today I am filing a federal lawsuit demanding full accountability. A reporter shouted. Mr. Kane, Sterling Crown claims this was an isolated incident. It wasn't. Internal documents show a company-wide policy of demographic optimization. That's corporate code for racism. Harrison Cole personally approved these policies. Mr. Cole denies any involvement. Then Mr. Cole is a liar, and we will prove it in court. What do you want from this lawsuit? Marcus looked directly into the cameras. I want justice. I want change. And I want every company in America to know that discrimination has consequences. You cannot treat people as less than human and walk away clean. He gathered his papers. That's all for now. See you in court. Across town, Harrison Cole watched the press conference on his office television. His phone rang. Board member. Harrison, we need to talk. I saw it. The stock is down 18%. Clients are calling. The media is camping outside our building. I'm handling it. Are you? Because right now it looks like you're the face of institutional racism. Victoria Ashford acted alone. She'll be terminated. We'll issue a statement. It's not enough. Kane has evidence. He's talking about federal charges. If this goes to trial, everything comes out. It won't go to trial. I'll make this disappear. How? Harrison's voice hardened. The same way I always do. Elena Cross sat in Diane Mercer's conference room surrounded by lawyers. They threatened your family, Diane asked. They mentioned my sister's treatment, her insurance. That's witness intimidation, federal crime. Can you protect her? We're already making arrangements. Your sister will be transferred to a private facility under an assumed name. Our security team will monitor your parents. And me. Diane leaned forward. You're the key to this case, Elena. Your documentation is explosive. Internal emails, policy memos, meeting recordings. With your testimony, we can prove systemic discrimination going back 12 years. What do you need from me? Everything. Every file, every recording, every name. And in exchange, full legal protection, whistleblower status, and if we win a percentage of the settlement. I don't care about money. Then think of it as insurance, for your family, for your future. Elena was quiet for a moment. What happens to Victoria? Victoria Ashford is a symptom. Harrison Cole is the disease. We're going after the source. And if we lose? Diane smiled grimly. We won't. Oh, that night, Jerome Watts sat alone in his car outside Sterling Crown. 30 years in security. 30 years of watching people like Victoria Ashford treat people like Marcus Kane like they were nothing. 30 years of staying silent. He pulled out his phone, scrolled to a contact he'd never called. Thaddeus Price. They'd served together in the Army. 25 years ago. Different lives now. Jerome pressed dial. Thad, it's Jerome. Jerome, what's going on? You work for Marcus Kane now, right? I do. Why? I have something he needs to see. Recordings. 15 years of them. Every discriminatory incident I've witnessed at Sterling Crown. Every order I was given to remove people based on their race. Every complaint that HR buried. Jesus, Jerome. Why didn't you say something before? Because I needed the job. Because I was scared. Because it was easier to look away. And now? Jerome watched the Sterling Crown building through his windshield. Now I'm done looking away. That man Marcus Kane, he didn't back down. He didn't accept it. He stood there and demanded to be treated like a human being. So I'm 62 years old. I've got maybe 10 good years left. And I don't want to spend them knowing I could have done something and didn't. This will destroy Sterling Crown. Good. It might destroy you too. Then at least I'll go down fighting. Silence. Send me everything, Jerome, tonight. Already uploading. Nog. Marcus Kane stood at his window looking out at the Manhattan skyline. His phone buzzed. Thad. We've got him. Got who? Harrison Cole. Jerome Watts just sent 15 years of recordings, internal meetings, direct orders. Cole personally instructed security to profile certain customers. He said that on tape multiple times, and Marcus, there's more. What? Sterling Crown is connected to a network of properties. Real estate firms, mortgage lenders, insurance companies. All using the same discriminatory practices. This isn't one company. It's an entire system. Marcus closed his eyes. How big? Billions of dollars. Thousands of victims. And it all traces back to a handful of men at the top, including Harrison Cole. He's a middleman. There are bigger players, much bigger. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then we don't just take down Sterling Crown. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting we burn the whole thing down. Every company, every executive, every corrupt system that decided people like me don't deserve to exist in their spaces. That's a war, Marcus. I know. It could take years. I've got time. It could cost everything. Then it costs everything. He turned away from the window. Make the calls, Thad. Bring everyone in. Lawyers, investigators, media contacts, politicians who owe me favors. All of them. All of them. Victoria Ashford said people like me don't touch $40 million. Marcus smiled grimly. Let's show her what people like me can really do. 3 days after the press conference, Sterling Crown's stock dropped 42%. Harrison Cole sat in his office, staring at the numbers. Red. Everything was red. His phone rang. Private number. Harrison, we need to meet. The voice was cold, familiar, dangerous. Mr. Rothwell, I was going to call you. Tonight, 9 o'clock, the usual place. Don't be late. Click. Harrison's hands trembled. Charles Rothwell. The man behind Sterling Crown. The man behind a dozen companies just like it. The man who had made Harrison rich and could destroy him with a single phone call. His assistant knocked. Sir, there's a federal agent here to see you. Harrison's blood turned to ice. What? FBI. She says it's urgent. Special Agent Monica Torres walked into Harrison Cole's office like she owned it. 45 years old. Sharp eyes. No smile. Mr. Cole, I'm Agent Torres, FBI Financial Crimes Division. I have lawyers for this. Call them. You're going to need them. Harrison's jaw tightened. What is this about? Sterling Crown Real Estate is under federal investigation for systematic violation of the Fair Housing Act. That's ridiculous. One employee made inappropriate comments. One employee. Torres pulled out a folder. We have documentation of 847 discriminatory incidents over 12 years. We have internal emails, policy memos, and as of this morning, We have witness testimony from 3 former employees. Harrison's face went pale. Who? That's confidential. I have a right to know my accusers. You have a right to an attorney. I suggest you use it. Torres placed a document on his desk. This is a warrant to search Sterling Crown's offices. All files, all computers, all records. My team is already downstairs. You can't do this. I just did. Torres turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing, Mr. Cole. We know this goes higher than you. Cooperate now and maybe you walk away with a fine and probation. Protect the people above you. She shook her head. 20 years, minimum. She walked out. Harrison sat frozen for 30 seconds. Then he grabbed his phone and dialed. Charles, we have a problem. Elena Cross woke up to pounding on her door. 6:47 a.m. She grabbed her phone. 3 missed calls from an unknown number. The pounding continued. Elena, open up. It's me. She recognized the voice. Gemma, her best friend since college, her only friend who hadn't abandoned her. Elena opened the door. Gemma pushed inside, eyes wild. Have you seen the news? What news? Gemma grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. Breaking developments in the Sterling Crown discrimination scandal. FBI agents raided the company's Manhattan headquarters early this morning. Sources say the investigation has expanded beyond racial discrimination to include fraud, money laundering, and racketeering charges. Elena's knees went weak. Oh my God! It's everywhere. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, everyone's talking about it. This is happening so fast. That's not all. Gemma's voice dropped. Derek is on TV. What? He's giving interviews. About you. Elena's stomach dropped. What is he saying? Gemma didn't answer. She just changed the channel. Derek's face filled the screen. I had no idea my former fiancée was involved in any of this. When I found out what she was doing, I immediately ended our relationship. I believe in accountability. I believe in truth. And I believe Elena Cross is manipulating this situation for personal gain. Elena felt like she'd been punched. Personal gain. Elena, I'm so sorry. He's lying. He's on national television lying about me. I know. He dumped me. He called me and said he couldn't be with someone who destroyed their career for a stranger. And now he's acting like he's the victim. He's protecting himself. Harrison probably promised him something. Elena's phone rang. Diane Mercer. Elena, turn off the TV. I've seen it. Don't react. Don't give interviews. Don't respond on social media. He wants you to make a mistake. Don't give him one. He's lying about me. I know. And we'll deal with it. But right now you need to focus. Can you come to my office? When? Now. Something's happened. Dogged. Elena arrived at Diane's office 40 minutes later. Marcus was already there. So was Thaddeus. And someone new, a woman in her 60s, gray-haired with eyes that had seen everything. Elena, this is Colette Washington, former Assistant Attorney General. She's joining our legal team. Elena shook her hand. Why do we need a former Assistant AG? Because this case just got much bigger than we anticipated. Diane pulled up a document on her screen. The FBI raid uncovered a network. Sterling Crown is connected to 14 other companies. Real estate, mortgage lending, insurance, all using the same discriminatory practices. 14 companies. And they're all connected to one man, Charles Rothwell. Marcus leaned forward. Who is Charles Rothwell? Colette answered. Old money. Very old. His family has been in real estate since the 1890s. He's worth somewhere between $8 and $12 billion depending on how you count hidden assets. I've never heard of him. That's by design. Rothwell doesn't do interviews, doesn't appear in public, doesn't exist on any company's official leadership, but he controls everything from the shadows. How? Shell companies, holding structures, offshore accounts. The man is a ghost, but every major discriminatory housing policy in the Northeast traces back to his network. Elena felt sick. So Harrison Cole is just a middleman. Harrison Cole is a puppet. Rothwell pulls the strings. Marcus stood and walked to the window. Then we go after Rothwell. It's not that simple. Diane's voice was cautious. Rothwell has connections everywhere. Politicians, judges, law enforcement. He's been operating for 40 years without a single investigation. Until now. Until now. But Marcus, if we go after him directly, he'll destroy us before we get anywhere near a courtroom. Then how do we do this? Colette smiled grimly. We don't attack him. We make him attack us. And when he does, we catch him in the act. That afternoon, Victoria Ashford received a visitor. She'd been hiding in her apartment for 3 days. Blinds closed. Phone off. Watching her life disintegrate on national television. The knock was soft, almost gentle. She opened the door. A man stood there. Tall, expensive suit, cold eyes. Ms. Ashford, my name is Vincent Cross. I work for Charles Rothwell. Victoria's heart stopped. I don't know anyone named... Yes, you do. You've been receiving payments from his company for 6 years. A little bonus for maintaining certain standards at Sterling Crown. Victoria's face went white. How do you know about that? Mr. Rothwell knows everything. May I come in? She stepped aside. He entered. Ms. Ashford, you've created a significant problem for Mr. Rothwell. The FBI raid, the media coverage, the federal investigation, all because you couldn't control your mouth in front of witnesses. I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. The damage is done. What does he want me to do? Vincent smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Mr. Rothwell wants you to disappear. Victoria's blood ran cold. Disappear. Leave the country. Tonight. We have a private jet waiting. New identity. New life. Very comfortable. All you have to do is never speak about Sterling Crown again. And if I don't, Vincent's smile faded. Then you become a liability. And Mr. Rothwell doesn't tolerate liabilities. Are you threatening me? I'm offering you a choice. A good life somewhere warm, or a very short life right here. Victoria's hands trembled. I need time to think. You have 2 hours. Vincent placed a card on her table. Call this number when you're ready. And Ms. Ashford, don't do anything stupid. We're watching. He left. Victoria stared at the card. 2 hours. 2 hours to decide her entire future. She grabbed her phone and dialed a number she never thought she'd call. Diane Mercer's office. I need to speak to her. Now. Tell her it's Victoria Ashford. Tell her I'm ready to talk. 30 minutes later, Victoria sat in Diane Mercer's conference room. Across from her, Diane, Colette, Marcus Kane, the man she'd humiliated 3 days ago. Why should we trust you? Marcus asked. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned. You shouldn't. I don't deserve your trust. But I have information you need. What information? Charles Rothwell. I know how he operates. I know his network. I know where the money goes. And I know what he's planning to do to make this investigation disappear. Which is... Victoria took a breath. He's going to kill Harrison Cole. Make it look like suicide. Blame everything on him. Case closed. Silence. You're sure about this? Diane asked. Vincent Cross told me to disappear. When Rothwell tells someone to disappear, the alternative is death. If he's willing to eliminate me, someone nobody cares about, he'll definitely eliminate Harrison. Harrison knows too much. Marcus leaned forward. Why are you telling us this? An hour ago you were the enemy. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Because I don't want to die. Because I don't want to spend the rest of my life hiding. Because... She stopped, swallowed. Because what I did to you was wrong. I knew it was wrong when I was doing it, and I did it anyway. That's not an apology. No, it's not. An apology would be meaningless. Nothing I say can undo what happened, but I can help you destroy the people who made me this way. The people who taught me that discrimination was just good business. Marcus studied her for a long moment. What do you want in exchange? Protection. From Rothwell. From prosecution. And a chance to start over. That's a lot to ask. I know. But I'm giving you Charles Rothwell. The man nobody can touch. Isn't that worth something? Marcus looked at Diane, then at Colette. Colette nodded slowly. We need her, Colette said. She's the inside witness we've been looking for. Marcus turned back to Victoria. If you're lying to us, if this is some kind of trap, I will personally make sure you spend the rest of your life in prison. I understand. Then start talking. Victoria talked for 3 hours. She explained how Rothwell's network operated, the shell companies, the coded communications, the system of payments and promotions that rewarded discrimination. She named names, dates, dollar amounts. She described meetings where executives openly discussed managing demographic risk, where they laughed about turning away black families, where they celebrated keeping neighborhoods clean, and she revealed Rothwell's biggest secret. He has a safe in his estate on Long Island. It contains documentation of every illegal transaction for the past 40 years. He calls it his insurance policy. Insurance against what? Diane asked. Against his partners. Rothwell doesn't trust anyone. He keeps records of everyone's crimes so nobody can turn on him. How do you know this? Victoria's face reddened. Because I've been to his estate several times. Harrison used to send me there for meetings. What kind of meetings? The kind where men like Rothwell remind women like me of our place in the world. The room went silent. I'm not asking for sympathy, Victoria said quietly. I made my choices. I lived with them. But Rothwell is not just a racist. He's a predator. And he's been getting away with it for decades. Marcus's expression shifted. For the first time, something other than anger appeared in his eyes. Where exactly is this safe? 3rd floor, East Wing, hidden behind a painting. 19th century landscape, blue frame. Security, armed guards, motion sensors, cameras everywhere. It's a fortress. Then how do we get in? Victoria smiled grimly. You don't, but I can. Elena's phone rang at 11:38 p.m. Unknown number. Hello. Ms. Cross, did you think we were joking? The distorted voice, same as before. I told you, I'm not backing down. We know. That's why we're calling. Check your email. Elena's hands trembled as she opened her laptop. One new message, no subject. She clicked. Photos, but not of her this time. Of her sister Lucy, in a hospital bed, sleeping. Oh God. Beautiful girl, so peaceful, so vulnerable. Don't you dare touch her. We don't want to touch her. We want you to be smart. Withdraw your testimony. Delete your files. Disappear. And your sister lives to see Christmas. Elena's vision blurred with tears. You're monsters. We're businessmen. And business requires sacrifice. The question is, are you willing to sacrifice your sister for a man you barely know? Marcus Kane didn't ask me to do any of this. No, he didn't. But you're doing it anyway, and now your family pays the price. Elena closed her eyes. If I withdraw, how do I know you'll leave her alone? You have our word. Your word means nothing. Then you have a choice to make. Your sister's life, or your conscience. What matters more? The line went dead. Elena sat in darkness, staring at the photo of Lucy, her baby sister, 24 years old, fighting cancer, fighting for her life. And Elena was about to get her killed. She picked up her phone, dialed Marcus. Elena, what's wrong? They sent me pictures of my sister, in the hospital. They're threatening to kill her if I don't withdraw. Silence. Where are you? My apartment. Don't move. I'm sending someone. Marcus, maybe I should just... No, listen to me. These people will never stop. You withdraw today, they own you forever. They'll use your sister against you until there's nothing left. Then what do I do? You trust me. Can you do that? Elena thought about the last 3 days. The threats, the betrayal, the constant fear. But she also thought about Victoria's face when she screamed those words. About every black family turned away from homes they deserved. About her 17-year-old brother dreaming of a future that people like Rothwell wanted to deny him. Yes, I trust you. Then hold on. Help is coming. Thaddeus arrived at Elena's apartment 20 minutes later. 2 men were with him, built like soldiers, eyes like wolves. Ms. Cross, I'm taking you somewhere safe. What about my sister? Already handled. We have people at the hospital, private security, medical staff we trust. Lucy will be moved to a secure facility within the hour. How did you do that so fast? Thaddeus smiled. Marcus Kane doesn't make promises he can't keep. Elena grabbed her bag. Where are we going? Somewhere Rothwell can't find you. Does that place exist? It does now. 4 days later, Harrison Cole sat in an interrogation room. Agent Torres sat across from him. Mr. Cole, we've reviewed the documents, the emails, the financial records. You're facing 22 federal charges. Minimum sentence 40 years. Harrison's lawyer whispered something. Harrison shook his head. I want a deal. Excuse me. I'll give you everything. Names, dates, accounts, everything you need to take down the entire network. Torres leaned back. In exchange for what? Witness protection. For me and my family. New identities. New lives. That's a big ask. I'm giving you Charles Rothwell, the man behind everything. That's worth more than my prison sentence. Torres studied him. Why the change of heart? Harrison's composure cracked. For the first time, fear showed through. Because they tried to kill me last night. What? Car bomb. My wife's Mercedes. We were supposed to go to dinner. She went out to start the car. I was still inside getting my jacket. Is she alive? The bomb malfunctioned. Didn't fully detonate. But the message was clear. Harrison leaned forward, desperation in his eyes. They're cleaning house, Agent Torres. Everyone who can testify against Rothwell is going to die. Victoria Ashford, Jerome Watts, me. And if you don't protect me, I'll be dead before this case goes to trial. Torres was quiet for a moment. Tell me everything. Marcus received the news at 2:47 a.m. Harrison Cole had flipped. He's giving them everything, Thaddeus reported. Rothwell, the network, 40 years of crimes. Can they protect him? FBI is moving him tonight. Witness protection, new identity. And Rothwell. That's the problem. The FBI tried to arrest him this afternoon. Tried. He's gone. Disappeared. Private jet left Long Island at 3 p.m. No flight plan filed. No destination recorded. Marcus closed his eyes. He ran. He had warning. Someone in the FBI tipped him off. Can we track him? We're trying. But Rothwell has resources. He could be anywhere. Marcus stood, walked to the window. 3 weeks ago, Victoria Ashford had told him people like him didn't touch $40 million. Now the man behind her words had vanished into thin air, with billions of dollars, with decades of secrets, with the power to rebuild his empire somewhere else. "This isn't over," Marcus said quietly. "Marcus. He thinks he can run. He thinks money protects him. He thinks he can disappear and start again somewhere new. He probably can." "No." Marcus turned. "He can't. Because I'm going to find him. And when I do, I'm going to destroy everything he's built. Everything he loves. Everything he thinks makes him untouchable. That could take years. Then it takes years. It could cost everything. Then it costs everything." Thaddeus studied his oldest friend. "This isn't about Sterling Crown anymore, is it?" "It never was." "Then what is it about?" Marcus was silent for a moment. "When I was 12 years old, my father came home crying. First and only time I ever saw him cry. They'd passed him over for foreman again. Gave it to a white man with half his experience. My father had worked at that factory for 20 years. 20 years of being the best. 20 years of being denied. Marcus? He died 6 months later. Heart attack, 52 years old. The doctor said stress. But I knew the truth. That factory killed him. Those people killed him. They took his dignity piece by piece until there was nothing left." Marcus's voice hardened. "Charles Rothwell is the same. Different suit, different office, same poison. He's spent 40 years telling people like me that we don't belong, that we're less than, that our dreams don't matter. And you want to prove him wrong?" "No, I want to prove him right." Thaddeus frowned. "What do you mean?" "Rothwell thinks people like me are dangerous. He thinks we're a threat to his world, to his power, to everything he's built." Marcus smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "I'm going to show him exactly how dangerous we can be." Elena sat in a safe house in New Jersey watching the news. Rothwell's face was everywhere. The mystery billionaire, the ghost behind the discrimination network, the man who had vanished. Her phone buzzed. "Marcus, how are you holding up?" "I'm scared and angry and tired." "That's normal." "Is it because nothing about this feels normal?" "No, it doesn't. But you're still here, still fighting. That counts for something?" Elena closed her eyes. "Marcus, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Why did you keep going after Victoria said those things? After the humiliation? You could have just walked away. You have billions of dollars. You could have bought 10 buildings like Sterling Crown and never thought about it again." Marcus was quiet for a moment. "My mother used to tell me a story about her grandmother, a woman named Ruby Kane, born in Mississippi in 1892, lived through Jim Crow, watched her brother get lynched for looking at a white woman." Elena's breath caught. "Ruby Kane never learned to read, never owned property, never had a bank account. But she raised 9 children, sent 4 of them to college, built a family that survived everything this country threw at them." She sounds incredible. She was. And she used to say one thing over and over. Don't let them make you forget who you are. That was her only rule. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, don't let them make you forget. Did she live to see you succeed? No, she died when I was 3, but I carry her with me. Every day, every deal, every fight. Elena wiped her eyes. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked why I kept going. And the answer is Ruby Kane, and my father, and every ancestor who bled so I could stand in spaces that didn't want me. But you've already won. Sterling Crown is destroyed. Harrison flipped. The network is exposed. Rothwell is still free. The FBI will find him. Maybe, maybe not. But that's not the point. Then what is... Marcus's voice dropped. The point is that people like Rothwell have been running this country since its founding, and they've convinced everyone that fighting them is impossible, that the system is too big, too powerful, too entrenched. Isn't it? No, the system is made of people, and people can be beaten, one at a time, one fight at a time. until the whole rotten structure collapses. Elena was quiet for a long moment. You really believe that? I have to. Because if I don't, then my father died for nothing. Ruby Kane suffered for nothing. And everything we've been through means nothing. It means something to me. Good. Hold on to that. Because before this is over, you're going to need it. 2 weeks later, Charles Rothwell made a mistake. He called his daughter. The FBI had been monitoring every phone connected to his family, waiting, hoping. The call lasted 47 seconds, long enough to trace. Rothwell was in the Cayman Islands, a private estate. Armed guards, security systems. But not armed enough, not secure enough. At 4:32 a.m. local time, FBI agents working with Cayman authorities stormed the compound. Charles Rothwell was arrested in his bedroom, wearing silk pajamas, holding a glass of whiskey. The arresting agent read him his rights. Charles David Rothwell, you are under arrest for racketeering, fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, and violation of the Fair Housing Act. You have the right to remain silent. Do you know who I am? Rothwell's voice was ice. Yes, sir. You're a prisoner. Marcus watched the news coverage with Elena, Thaddeus, and Diane. Rothwell's face, the handcuffs, the perp walk, 40 years of crimes, ended by a phone call to his daughter. It's over, Elena whispered. No, Marcus said. It's just beginning. What do you mean? Rothwell is one man. His network is dozens, hundreds. The investigation will take years. The trials will take longer. And there are 100 more Rothwells out there doing the same thing, hiding in the shadows. So what do we do? Marcus turned to face her. We keep fighting. We build something that outlasts us. An organization, a movement. Something that makes sure people like Rothwell can never operate in darkness again. Elena nodded slowly. I'm in. You sure this is a lifetime commitment? I'm sure. Marcus extended his hand. Elena took it. Welcome to the war, Ms. Cross. 3 months after Rothwell's arrest, the trial began. Elena sat in the federal courthouse, hands trembling. In 30 minutes, she would take the stand. In 30 minutes, she would face the man who had tried to destroy her life. Marcus sat beside her. You ready? No. Good. That means you're taking it seriously. What if I freeze? What if I forget everything? You won't. How do you know? Marcus turned to face her. Because I've watched you for 3 months. I've seen you stand up when everyone told you to sit down. I've seen you fight when everyone told you to run. You're not going to freeze, Elena. You're going to walk into that courtroom and tell the truth, and the truth is going to bury him. Elena took a deep breath. What if it's not enough? It will be. But what if... Elena. Marcus took her hand. I believe in you. Diane believes in you. Everyone on this team believes in you. Now you need to believe in yourself. Elena looked at their hands. His grip was warm, steady, safe. Okay, she whispered. Okay. The courtroom doors opened. The bailiff called her name. Ms. Elena Cross. She stood. Her legs felt like water. Marcus squeezed her hand one last time. Go show them who you are. Elena walked through the doors. Charles Rothwell sat at the defense table. 73 years old, silver hair, cold eyes, looking at her like she was an insect he intended to crush. She didn't look away. The prosecutor approached. Ms. Cross, please state your name and former occupation for the record. Elena Cross, former associate broker at Sterling Crown Real Estate. And how long did you work there? 2 years and 4 months. During that time, did you witness discriminatory practices? Yes. Can you describe what you saw? Elena's voice steadied. I saw black families turned away from properties they could afford. I saw Hispanic clients steered toward inferior neighborhoods. I saw Asian investors quoted higher prices than white buyers for identical properties. And who authorized these practices? Elena pointed at Rothwell. Him, Charles Rothwell, through his network of companies and executives. Rothwell's lawyer jumped up. Objection. The witness has no direct knowledge of my client's involvement. I have emails, Elena said before the judge could respond. I have memos. I have recordings of meetings where Mr. Rothwell's policies were explicitly discussed. The courtroom erupted. The judge banged his gavel. Rothwell's face remained stone. But Elena saw it, the flicker of fear in his eyes. She smiled. Please continue, Ms. Cross. And she did. For 3 hours. Every document, every recording, every name, date, and dollar amount she had collected over 18 months. When she finished, the prosecutor asked one final question. Ms. Cross, why did you come forward? You had a career, a future. You could have stayed silent and protected yourself. Why didn't you? Elena looked at Rothwell. Because silence makes us complicit. Because every time we look away, we give them permission to keep hurting people. Because my younger brother is 17 years old, and he deserves to walk into any building in America without someone telling him he doesn't belong. She turned to face the jury. I came forward because it was right. And because someone had to. The courtroom was silent. The prosecutor nodded. No further questions. Rothwell's lawyer stood. Ms. Cross, isn't it true that you were fired from Sterling Crown? Yes. And isn't it true that you're angry about that termination? I'm angry about a lot of things. Being fired isn't one of them. Really? You don't resent losing your career? I lost my career because I told the truth. I'd do it again tomorrow. Isn't it possible that you fabricated this evidence to get revenge? Elena laughed. Fabricated? I have original emails from company servers. I have recorded conversations from official meetings. I have financial documents with signatures from executives. If I fabricated all that, I should be working for the CIA, not testifying in federal court. Laughter rippled through the gallery. The lawyer's face reddened. Ms. Cross, you're currently in a relationship with Marcus Kane, correct? Elena's heart stopped. Excuse me? You're romantically involved with the man who initiated this lawsuit. Isn't that a conflict of interest? My personal life has nothing to do with the evidence I collected. But it affects your credibility, doesn't it? You have financial incentive to see Mr. Rothwell convicted. Elena leaned forward. Let me be clear about something. I started collecting evidence 18 months before I ever met Marcus Kane. I documented discrimination because I couldn't live with myself watching it happen. I risked everything, my career, my safety, my family, because it was right. Not because of money, not because of Marcus, because it was right. Your Honor, I move to strike. And another thing. Elena's voice rose. You want to talk about conflicts of interest? Your client has spent 40 years buying politicians, judges, and journalists. He spent millions of dollars trying to silence witnesses. He tried to have Harrison Cole killed. He threatened my sister's life. So don't you dare sit there and question my credibility while defending a monster. The judge banged his gavel. Ms. Cross, please. I'm done. Elena stood. I've said what I came to say. She walked out of the courtroom without looking back. Marcus was waiting in the hallway. That was stupid. I know. I lost my temper. That was incredible. Elena blinked. What? You just destroyed their entire defense strategy. The jury saw exactly who you are, and they saw exactly who Rothwell is. I called him a monster in open court. He is a monster. Now everyone knows it. Elena's hands were still shaking. Marcus pulled her into his arms. I've got you, he whispered. I've got you. Elena buried her face in his chest, and for the first time in months, she let herself cry. That night, Diane called an emergency meeting. We have a problem. Marcus, Elena, Thaddeus, and Colette gathered around the conference table. What kind of problem? Marcus asked. Juror number 7, Walter Brennan, 62 years old, retired accountant. What about him? He received a visitor last night, someone from Rothwell's organization. Elena felt sick. They're tampering with the jury. We don't have proof yet, but our investigator followed Brennan this morning. He made 3 cash deposits at different banks, totaling $200,000. Can we report this? If we do, it's a mistrial. Rothwell walks. His lawyers will argue prosecutorial misconduct, claim we poisoned the jury pool. He could go free. So what do? Colette spoke. We let it play out. Let it play out if the jury is compromised. 1 juror. We have 11 others. And we have overwhelming evidence. Even if Brennan votes to acquit, the others won't. You're gambling with everything we've built. No, I'm trusting the system. The same system Rothwell has corrupted for 40 years. If we circumvent it now, we become what we're fighting against. Marcus stood, walked to the window. And if we lose, we won't lose. How can you be sure? Colette's voice softened. Because I've been doing this for 40 years. I've seen worse cases. I've faced more powerful enemies. And I've learned one thing: the truth has a way of finding light, even when everything is stacked against it. Marcus turned. That's a lot of faith. It's not faith, it's experience. Rothwell is used to buying his way out of trouble, but he's never faced a case this public. He's never faced witnesses this brave. And he's never faced a jury that's been watching his crimes play out on national television for 3 months. The jury is sequestered. Their families aren't. Their friends aren't. The whole country is watching this trial. Every juror knows that their verdict will be judged by history. Elena spoke up. So we wait, and we trust that 12 people will do the right thing. The jury deliberated for 6 days. 6 days of waiting. 6 days of silence. 6 days of Elena pacing her apartment, checking her phone every 30 seconds. On the 7th day, Marcus called. They're back. Verdict in 1 hour. Elena's heart stopped. I'm coming. I'll send a car. Marcus. Yeah. Whatever happens, thank you for everything. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when it's over. The courtroom was packed. Every seat filled. Reporters lining the walls. Cameras waiting outside. Elena sat behind the prosecution table. Marcus beside her. Thaddeus behind them. Jerome Watts in the back row, the security guard who had provided 15 years of recordings. Across the aisle, Rothwell sat motionless. His lawyers shuffled papers nervously. The judge entered. Everyone rose. Be seated. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreperson stood. A black woman in her 50s. Elena recognized her. Juror number 3, Margaret Williams, former schoolteacher. We have your honor. On the charge of racketeering, how do you find guilty? Elena's breath caught. On the charge of conspiracy to violate the Fair Housing Act. Guilty. On the charge of money laundering. Guilty. On the charge of witness intimidation. Guilty. Every charge. Guilty. 22 counts. All guilty. Rothwell's face didn't change, but his hands gripped the table until his knuckles went white. The judge turned to him. Mr. Rothwell, you have been found guilty on all counts. Sentencing will take place in 30 days. Until then, you are remanded to federal custody. Marshals approached. Rothwell stood slowly, and then he looked at Marcus. Across the courtroom. Across 40 years of crimes. Across everything he'd built and everything he'd destroyed. This isn't over, Rothwell said quietly. You think you've won. You've won nothing. I have friends you can't imagine, resources you can't comprehend. This conviction will be overturned. And when it is, I will personally destroy everything you love. Marcus stood, walked toward the aisle, stopped 3 feet from Rothwell. 3 months ago, one of your employees told me that people like me don't touch $40 million. She was wrong. People like me don't just touch money, Mr. Rothwell. We touch empires. We touch legacies. We touch everything you thought was untouchable. Marcus leaned closer. You spent 40 years telling people they don't belong. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life in a cage. And every day you'll remember this moment. You'll remember that a black man from Baltimore brought down everything you built. Rothwell's face twisted with rage. You'll pay for this. I already have. Every day of my life I've paid for the color of my skin. The difference is I turned that payment into power. What did you do with yours? The marshals pulled Rothwell toward the exit. This isn't over, he screamed. This will never be over. The doors closed behind him. Elena rushed to Marcus. Are you okay? I'm fine. What he said? Empty threats. He has nothing left. How do you know? Marcus smiled. The first real smile she'd seen in months. Because we just took everything. That night they celebrated. Diane's office. Champagne. Everyone who had fought for this moment gathered in one room. Jerome Watts stood in the corner uncomfortable with attention. Victoria Ashford, now in witness protection under a new name, sent a video message of congratulations. Harrison Cole, serving his reduced sentence in exchange for testimony, probably heard the news on a prison TV. To justice. Diane raised her glass. To justice. Everyone echoed. Elena found herself standing beside Marcus at the window. What are you thinking? She asked. About my father. The factory worker. Yeah, he never saw me succeed. Died when I was 22. Heart attack. Stress, the doctor said. But I knew the truth. Tell me. He spent 30 years being told he wasn't good enough. 30 years of watching white men with half his talent get promoted over him. And eventually his heart just gave out. Couldn't take it anymore. I'm sorry. Don't be. His death made me who I am. Every deal I close, every company I build, every fight I win, it's for him. It's proof that he wasn't worthless, that his life meant something. Elena touched his arm. He would be proud of you. I hope so. I know so. Marcus looked at her, really looked at her. For a long moment, neither spoke. Elena, I need to tell you something. What? These past 3 months, working with you, fighting beside you, it's changed me. Changed you how? I've spent my entire life building walls, protecting myself, trusting no one, because every time I trusted someone, they let me down. Every time I opened up, I got hurt. And now I don't want walls anymore. Not with you. Elena's heart raced. Marcus, I know the timing is terrible. I know we're in the middle of the biggest case of our lives. I know there are 1,000 reasons why this is a bad idea, but I don't care. What are you saying? I'm saying I have feelings for you. Real feelings. The kind I haven't had in years. Maybe ever. Elena stared at him. How long? Since the courthouse. When you walked in to testify. I watched you face Rothwell without flinching, and I thought, that's the bravest person I've ever met. I was terrified. I know. That's what made it brave. Elena set down her champagne glass. Marcus, I'm not who you think I am. I'm scared all the time. I doubt myself constantly. I wake up every morning wondering if I made the right choice. So do I. You do. Every single day. The only difference is, I've had 40 years to learn how to hide it. You don't have to hide it, not with me. Marcus stepped closer. Then I won't. Elena reached up, touched his face. I have feelings for you too, she whispered. I've been trying to ignore them because I thought it was inappropriate, unprofessional, dangerous. Is it? Probably. Do you care? No. He kissed her. Soft at first, then deeper. Years of walls crumbling in a single moment. When they finally pulled apart, Elena was breathless. "What happens now?" she asked. "I don't know, but I want to find out. Together." Together. 2 weeks later, everything changed. Elena was in Marcus's apartment when her phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello. Ms. Cross, we need to talk." A woman's voice, vaguely familiar. "Who is this?" "My name is Patricia Rothwell. Charles is my husband." Elena's blood ran cold. "How did you get this number?" "That's not important. What's important is what I'm about to tell you." "I'm not interested in anything you have to say." "You should be. Because my husband didn't act alone. The network goes deeper than you know. Deeper than anyone knows." "What are you talking about?" "The FBI thinks they've dismantled everything. They're wrong. Charles was just the public face. There are others, more powerful, more hidden. And they're planning something." "Why are you telling me this?" Silence. "Because my husband is a monster, and I've spent 40 years pretending not to see it. But I'm done pretending." "How do I know this isn't a trap?" "You don't, but I'm going to send you something. A file. Addresses, names, account numbers, everything I've been collecting for 20 years. Collecting why? Insurance. In case Charles ever turned on me, he never knew I had it. And you're just giving it to us." "I'm 70 years old, Ms. Cross. I have stage 4 cancer, 6 months to live, maybe less. I'm not giving this to you out of nobility. I'm giving it to you because I want to see them burn before I die." Elena's mind raced. "Send it. Check your email in 1 hour. And Ms. Cross." "Yes. Be careful. The people in that file, they're not like Charles. They don't make mistakes. They don't leave witnesses. And they don't lose." The line went dead. Elena immediately called Marcus. "Something's happened. You need to come home. Now." 1 hour later, the file arrived. Elena, Marcus, Diane, and Thaddeus gathered around the laptop. Names. Hundreds of names. Politicians, judges, CEOs, media executives. All connected to Rothwell's network. All still operating. "My God," Diane whispered. "This goes everywhere." "Look at this." Thaddeus pointed. "Senator Morrison. He's on the Judiciary Committee. He's been blocking fair housing legislation for 15 years. And here," Elena scrolled, "Judge Catherine Wells, Federal Appeals Court. She's overturned 12 discrimination cases in the past 5 years." "They're not just running businesses," Marcus said quietly. "They're controlling the system. The whole system. Laws, courts, enforcement." "How do we fight this?" Elena asked. Diane leaned back. "We don't. Not directly. If we release this information publicly, they'll deny everything. Their friends in media will spin it. Their friends in government will bury it. So what do? We play their game. We find the weak links, the people who can be pressured, the people who can be flipped, and we dismantle them one by one." "That could take decades." "Yes, it could." Marcus stood. "Then we'd better start now." The next morning, Marcus held another press conference. But this time, he didn't talk about Sterling Crown. He didn't talk about Rothwell. He talked about the future. "Today, I'm announcing the creation of the Kane Foundation for Housing Justice. $100 million. Dedicated to fighting discrimination in real estate lending and insurance." Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. "This foundation will provide legal support for victims. It will investigate discriminatory practices. It will lobby for stronger legislation. And it will never stop fighting until every American, regardless of race, has equal access to housing." "Mr. Kane, critics say you're using this as a publicity stunt." "Critics can say whatever they want. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. $100 million. That's not a stunt. That's a commitment." "What about Charles Rothwell's appeal?" "Let him appeal. He can appeal from a prison cell for the rest of his life. The evidence is overwhelming. The verdict is solid. Justice has been served. Is it true you're in a relationship with Elena Cross? Marcus smiled. My personal life is my own business. But I will say this, Elena Cross is the bravest person I've ever met. She risked everything to tell the truth. This country needs more people like her. Will she be involved in the foundation? She'll be running it. Elena, watching from backstage, nearly dropped her coffee. After the press conference, she grabbed Marcus. Running it? You didn't tell me that. I'm telling you now. Marcus, I can't run a $100 million foundation. I don't have experience. I don't have credentials. I'm 29 years old. You have something better than credentials. You have conviction. You have courage. And you have 18 months of experience fighting the most powerful people in American real estate. That's not the same. It's exactly the same. You know this world. You know how they operate. You know where the bodies are buried. There's no one better qualified. People will say you gave me the job because we're together. People will say a lot of things. Since when do you care what people say? Elena was quiet for a moment. You really believe I can do this? I believe you can do anything. What if I fail? Then you fail. And you get up. And you try again. That's what we do. That's who we are. Elena took a deep breath. Okay. Okay. I'll do it. But Marcus, if I'm running this foundation, I'm running it my way. No interference. No second guessing. Full authority. Done. And I want Jerome Watts as head of security. And Victoria, if she's willing, as a consultant. Nobody knows their tactics better than someone who used them. Done and done. And I want a seat at every strategy meeting, not as your girlfriend, as a partner. Marcus grinned. I wouldn't have it any other way. 6 months later, the Kane Foundation had filed 47 lawsuits, 23 settlements, 18 victories, 6 ongoing. Senator Morrison resigned amid scandal. Judge Wells recused herself from discrimination cases. 3 major real estate firms signed consent decrees with the Department of Justice. The network Patricia Rothwell had exposed was crumbling. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily, relentlessly. Elena sat in her office reviewing case files when her assistant buzzed. Ms. Cross, there's someone here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment. Who is it? He says his name is Derek. Derek Collins. Elena's heart stopped. Derek, her ex-fiancé. The man who had dumped her on national television. The man who had called her a race-baiting opportunist. Send him in. The door opened. Derek walked in. He looked terrible. Thinner, paler. Dark circles under his eyes. Elena. Derek. I know I don't deserve to be here. You're right. You don't. I came to apologize. For which part? Dumping me, going on TV to trash me, or giving my private photos to Rothwell's people? Derek flinched. You know about the photos. Of course I know. They used them to threaten me, to threaten my sister. Elena, I didn't know they would. You didn't care. You were protecting yourself. That's all you've ever done. I was scared. So was I. The difference is I didn't sell out the people I loved. Derek's eyes filled with tears. I made a mistake, the worst mistake of my life, and I've spent the last 6 months paying for it. Paying how? Harrison Cole is in prison. Everyone connected to him is being investigated, including me. I lost my job, my license, my reputation, everything. And you want sympathy? No. I want forgiveness. Elena laughed. It was cold, bitter. Forgiveness, Derek. You betrayed me when I needed you most. You called me names on national television. You helped people who threatened to kill my sister. And now you want forgiveness because your life fell apart. I know I don't deserve it. Then why are you here? Derek was quiet for a long moment. Because I loved you. And I threw it away. And I will spend the rest of my life regretting that. Elena stood, walked to the window. I used to imagine this moment. You coming back, apologizing, begging for another chance. And I realized something. I don't hate you, Derek. Hating you would require energy I don't have. I just don't feel anything for you anymore. You're a stranger, a ghost from a life that no longer exists. Elena. Goodbye, Derek. Please. I said goodbye. Derek stood, hesitated, then walked to the door. He stopped with his hand on the handle. For what it's worth, I'm glad you found someone better. Marcus Kane is a good man. Better than I ever was. Yes, he is. I hope you're happy. I am. Derek left. Elena stood at the window for a long time after he was gone. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. How'd it go? Better than I expected. Need me to come over? No, I'm okay. Actually, I'm better than okay. Yeah. I just closed a chapter I didn't know was still open. And now? Elena smiled. Now I write the next one. 1 year after Rothwell's conviction, Elena received a phone call that changed everything. Ms. Cross, this is Dr. Patel from Mount Sinai. It's about your sister. Elena's heart stopped. What happened? Lucy's latest scans came back. The cancer is in remission. Elena dropped her phone. Her hands shook. Her vision blurred. Ms. Cross, are you there? She picked up the phone with trembling fingers. Say that again. Complete remission. The experimental treatment worked. Your sister is cancer-free. Elena couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't do anything except cry. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you. She hung up and immediately called Marcus. Lucy's in remission. What? The cancer. It's gone. She's going to live. Marcus was silent for 3 seconds. Then, I'm coming home. You're in Chicago. I don't care. I'm coming home. 2 hours later, he walked through the door. Elena ran into his arms. She's going to live, Elena sobbed. After everything, after all the threats, after everything they tried to do to us, she's going to live. Marcus held her tight. I told you we'd get through this. I was so scared. Every day. Every single day I thought about what they said. About her insurance. About her treatment. I thought I was going to lose her. But you didn't. But I could have. If I'd given up. If I'd walked away. You didn't walk away. You fought. And she's alive because you fought. Elena pulled back. Looked at him. We need to see her. Tonight. Then let's go. They drove to Mount Sinai together. Lucy was sitting up in bed when they arrived. 25 now. Thin. Pale. But smiling. You heard, Lucy said. Elena rushed to her bedside. I heard. I'm going to live, Elena. I'm actually going to live. Of course you are. I never doubted it. Liar. Lucy laughed weakly. You doubted it every day. Okay, I doubted it every day, but I never stopped hoping. That's because you're stubborn. That's because you're my sister. Lucy looked past Elena to Marcus, standing in the doorway. So, this is the famous Marcus Kane. That's me. You're shorter than you look on TV. Marcus laughed. And you're funnier than your sister said. Elena doesn't think I'm funny? Elena doesn't think anyone's funny. Hey, Elena protested. I'm standing right here. Lucy grinned. Thank you for protecting me. Elena told me what you did. The security. The private facility. Everything. You don't need to thank me. Yes, I do. Those people threatened to kill me. They used me to try to break my sister. And you made sure they couldn't touch me. Marcus stepped closer. Your sister saved my life. Not literally, but she reminded me what it means to fight for something bigger than yourself. Protecting you was the least I could do." Lucy studied him for a long moment. Then she turned to Elena. "I like him." "Good, because I'm keeping him." "Does he know you snore?" "I do not snore." "She snores," Lucy told Marcus. "Like a chainsaw." "I've noticed." Elena's jaw dropped. "Traitor." Marcus and Lucy both laughed. And for the first time in a year, Elena felt something she'd almost forgotten. Peace. 3 weeks later, that peace shattered. Elena was in her office when Thaddeus burst through the door. "We have a problem." "What kind of problem?" "Victoria Ashford. She's missing." Elena's blood ran cold. "Missing how?" "She was supposed to check in with witness protection yesterday. She didn't. Marshals went to her apartment, empty. No signs of struggle, no note, just gone." "Did she run?" "That's what the marshals think, but I don't buy it." "Why not?" "Because I talked to her 2 days ago. She was scared, said she'd been getting calls, hang-ups, heavy breathing, like someone was watching her." "Why didn't she report it?" "She did. The marshals said it was probably nothing. They were wrong." Elena grabbed her phone. "We need to find her." "How? She could be anywhere." "She's not anywhere. She's either hiding or she's been taken. Either way, someone knows where she is." "Who?" Elena's jaw tightened. "The people who want her dead." That night, Elena met with Diane and Colette. "The network," Elena said. "The names Patricia Rothwell gave us. Someone on that list took Victoria." "We don't know that for certain," Diane cautioned. "Who else would it be?" Victoria testified against Rothwell. "She exposed their practices. She's a loose end. If they wanted her dead, why not just kill her? Because dead whistleblowers become martyrs. But missing whistleblowers. The story is, she ran. She couldn't handle the pressure. She was unreliable all along." Colette nodded slowly. "She's right. This is reputation management. They're not just eliminating Victoria. They're discrediting her. Then we need to find her before they succeed." "How?" Elena pulled out the file. Patricia Rothwell's file. The one they'd been using to dismantle the network piece by piece. "There's a name here we haven't investigated yet. Vincent Cross. The fixer. The man who came to Victoria's apartment the day of the raid. The one who offered her the choice: disappear or die. We've been looking for him for a year. We've been looking in the wrong places. Vincent Cross isn't his real name. It's an alias. How do you know? Because I ran every database we have access to. No birth certificate, no social security number, no tax records. The man doesn't exist." "Then how do we find him?" Elena leaned forward. "We don't find him. We make him find us." 2 days later, Elena went on national television. "I'm here to make an announcement," she said, looking directly into the camera. "Victoria Ashford is missing. The woman who helped bring down Charles Rothwell. The woman who risked everything to expose institutional racism. She has disappeared." She paused. "The authorities say she ran. I don't believe that. I believe she was taken by the same people we've been fighting for the past year. The same network that tried to destroy us." Another pause. "And I have a message for those people. We know who you are. We have names. We have documents. We have evidence of crimes going back decades. And if anything happens to Victoria Ashford, we will release everything, every name, every transaction, every secret." She leaned closer to the camera. "You have 48 hours to return her safely. If you don't, there's nowhere on earth you can hide." The interview ended. Marcus was waiting backstage. "That was either the bravest thing you've ever done or the stupidest." "Probably both. You just painted a target on your back." "I already had a target on my back. Now they know I'm not afraid to shoot back." "What if they don't respond?" "They'll respond. People like this can't help themselves. They need to prove they're in control." And if they try to kill you instead of returning Victoria? Elena met his eyes. Then you'll finish what we started. 18 hours later, Elena's phone rang. Unknown number. Ms. Cross, you've made yourself quite the nuisance. The voice was male, cultured, calm. Who is this? You can call me Vincent. Elena's heart pounded. Where's Victoria? Safe, for now, but your little television stunt has created complications. Good. You don't understand what you're dealing with. Then explain it to me. The people I work for have been running this country since before your grandparents were born. Presidents come and go, laws change, but the real power that stays in the same hands, generation after generation. And you think that makes you untouchable? I think it makes us inevitable. You can win battles, Ms. Cross, but you'll never win the war. We'll see about that. Yes, we will. I'm going to make you an offer. One time only. Walk away. Shut down the foundation. Stop investigating. And Victoria lives. You live. Everyone you love lives. And if I refuse, then I start with your sister, the one who just beat cancer. It would be tragic if she had a relapse. Elena's blood turned to ice. You stay away from her. I don't want to hurt anyone, Ms. Cross. I'm a businessman. Violence is bad for business. But if you force my hand, you're a monster. I'm a realist. And the reality is, you've already lost. You just don't know it yet. Return Victoria. Then we'll talk. I'll return Victoria when you agree to my terms. No. Excuse me. I said no. You don't get to dictate terms. You don't get to threaten my family. And you don't get to win. Ms. Cross, here's what's going to happen. You're going to release Victoria within 24 hours, and then you're going to pray that I never find out your real name, because if I do, I will destroy you. Not your organization, not your bosses. You, personally. Silence. You're making a mistake. The only mistake I ever made was staying silent. I'm done making that mistake. She hung up. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was racing. But she wasn't afraid. She was furious. Marcus found her pacing the apartment. What happened? Vincent called. He threatened Lucy, threatened all of us. What did you say? I told him no. You told him no. I told him to go to hell, in more polite terms. Marcus stared at her. Elena, these people are dangerous. I know. They've killed before. They'll kill again. I know. And you're not scared. Elena stopped pacing. I'm terrified. But I've been terrified for a year. I was terrified when they threatened Lucy the first time. I was terrified during the trial. I was terrified every time I woke up wondering if today was the day they'd come for me. So what changed? I realized something. Fear is their weapon. As long as we're scared, they win. They don't have to actually hurt us. They just have to make us believe they will. But they can hurt us? Maybe. But they can also fail. Rothwell thought he was untouchable. Harrison thought the same thing. Now one's in prison and the other's in witness protection. These people aren't gods, Marcus. They're just rich men with secrets. And secrets can be exposed. You're gambling with your life. I'm gambling with everything. But so are they. The question is, who blinks first? The next morning, Victoria Ashford was found. Alive, sitting on a bench in Central Park. Disoriented, dehydrated, but alive. Elena rushed to the hospital where they'd taken her. Victoria, what happened? Victoria's eyes were hollow. They kept me in a room, windowless. They asked questions, over and over. What had I told the FBI? What did I know? What evidence did I have? Did you tell them? I told them everything I'd already given you. Nothing new. Nothing they could use. Why did they let you go? Victoria looked at her. Because of you. They showed me the interview. Your threat. They were scared, Elena. For the first time, they were actually scared. They called me. Threatened my sister again. But they let me go. That means your threat worked. Or it means they're planning something worse. Victoria grabbed Elena's hand. Listen to me. I spent a week with these people. I heard things, names, plans. They're not just trying to survive. They're planning to rebuild. A new network, new companies, new politicians. They're going to start over. Where? I don't know, they were careful, but I heard one name, over and over, Blackwood. Blackwood. It's a place, or a person. I couldn't tell. But whatever it is, it's important. It's the key to everything. Elena pulled out her phone. Thaddeus, I need you to find everything you can about something called Blackwood. Person, place, company, anything. On it. Elena turned back to Victoria. You're safe now. We'll protect you. You can't protect me from these people. Watch me. 2 weeks later, Thaddeus found Blackwood. It's an island, he reported, private, off the coast of Georgia, owned by a shell company that traces back to the Rothwell network. What's on it? That's the interesting part. Officially, it's a nature preserve, but satellite imagery shows buildings, infrastructure, armed guards, a headquarters. More than that. I talked to a former contractor who worked there. He said it's where they keep the archives, physical documents, records too sensitive to digitize, everything that could bring down the network. Elena's pulse quickened. The insurance Patricia mentioned. Exactly. Rothwell had his safe, but the real power isn't in his safe. It's on that island. How do we get there? We don't. Private property, armed security, no jurisdiction. Even if we found evidence, anything obtained illegally would be inadmissible. So we need a warrant. We need probable cause. And right now we have nothing but rumors and satellite photos. Elena thought for a moment. What about Patricia Rothwell? What about her? She gave us the original file. Maybe she knows more. She's dying. Cancer. Hospice care. Then we need to talk to her before it's too late. Elena drove to the hospice alone. Patricia Rothwell was barely recognizable. Skeletal. Pale. Hooked up to machines that beeped softly in the quiet room. But her eyes were alert. Ms. Cross, I wondered when you'd come. You knew about Blackwood. I knew about many things. Why didn't you tell us? Because I wasn't sure you were ready. Taking down Charles was one thing. But Blackwood... She coughed. Blackwood is where the real secrets are buried. What secrets? Everything. Every payoff. Every cover-up. Every crime committed by the network for the past 50 years. Financial records. Photographs. Video recordings. Recordings of what? Patricia smiled grimly. Of powerful men doing terrible things. Insurance. Blackmail material. That's how the network maintains control. They don't just bribe people, they own them. How do we get in? You don't. The island is a fortress. Armed guards, electronic surveillance, biometric locks. There's only one way to access the archives. What? Me? Elena stared at her. What are you talking about? I'm still listed as an authorized user. Charles added me decades ago. Before he realized I was collecting evidence against him. I never used the access, never set foot on the island. But my credentials are still active. How do you know? Because I checked. 2 days ago. I can get you in, Ms. Cross, but there's a condition. Name it. I'm dying. I have weeks left, maybe days. I want to see them burn before I go. I want to walk onto that island and watch everything my husband built crumble around me. That's suicide. In your condition, I'm already dead. The doctors are just waiting for my body to catch up. Let me do this. Let me die doing something good for once in my miserable life. Elena was quiet for a long moment. Why do you want to help us? Patricia's eyes filled with tears. Because I had a daughter, Claire. Brilliant, beautiful. She fell in love with a black man when she was 22. Charles found out. He didn't kill her. He just erased her, cut her off, made sure she couldn't work, couldn't rent, couldn't exist. What happened to her? She died. 8 years ago. Overdose. Alone in a motel room. My daughter died because her father couldn't accept who she loved. Elena felt her heart break. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be angry. Be ruthless. Make them pay for everyone they've hurt. That's all I want. That's all I have left. Elena reached out and took Patricia's hand. I'll make sure they pay. I promise. Marcus opposed the plan. It's too dangerous. Patricia is dying. If something goes wrong, something will go wrong either way. This is our chance. Our only chance. We could wait. Build a legal case. We've been building legal cases for a year. The network keeps rebuilding. They keep finding new ways to hide. If we don't destroy the archives, they'll never stop. And if you get caught, then I get caught. But at least we'll have tried. Marcus grabbed her shoulders. Elena, listen to me. I can't lose you. You're not going to lose me. You don't know that. No, but I know this: I'd rather die fighting than live knowing I could have stopped them and didn't. Marcus's jaw tightened. Then I'm coming with you. No. I'm not asking permission. Marcus, if something happens to both of us, then Diane takes over. Colette takes over. Jerome takes over. We've built something bigger than ourselves, Elena. It doesn't die if we do. Elena stared at him. You'd risk everything. I'd risk everything for you. I thought that was obvious by now. She kissed him. Hard. Desperate. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. Now let's go burn down an empire. The operation took 3 weeks to plan. Jerome coordinated security. Thaddeus handled logistics. Diane prepared legal strategies for every possible outcome. And Patricia Rothwell prepared to die. I want to be clear, Patricia said at the final briefing. I'm not coming back from this. One way or another, I'm ending it on that island. Patricia, don't argue with me. I'm 71 years old. I'm riddled with cancer. And I'm tired. So tired of living with what I've done, what I've allowed. You're trying to make amends. I'm trying to find peace, whether I deserve it or not. Elena looked at the woman who had once been married to a monster, who had watched him destroy lives for decades, who had finally found the courage to fight back. You deserve it, Elena said quietly. Whatever you've done, you deserve peace. Patricia smiled. It was the first genuine smile Elena had seen from her. Thank you. Now let's finish this. They approached Blackwood Island by boat. Midnight. No moon. Patricia's credentials worked. The biometric scanner accepted her handprint. The gates opened. We have 30 minutes, Thaddeus said through the earpiece. After that, the security patrol reaches the archives. That's enough, Elena replied. They moved through the compound, Patricia leading, Elena and Marcus following, Jerome and 2 of his men covering the rear. The archive building was smaller than Elena expected. A concrete bunker, no windows, single door. Patricia placed her hand on the scanner. Access granted. Inside rows of filing cabinets, servers, boxes stacked floor to ceiling. My God, Marcus whispered. There must be 50 years of evidence here. More than that, Patricia said. Charles's father started the collection. His grandfather before that. This is the family legacy. Every sin, every crime, every secret. We can't carry all of this out. You don't need to. Patricia pointed to a terminal in the corner. That's connected to every server. Download what you can, then destroy the rest. Destroy it. Fire suppression system uses halon. I can reverse it. Flood the room with accelerant instead. That'll burn down the entire building. That's the idea. Elena hesitated. Patricia, if you do that, I told you, I'm not leaving this island. Elena's eyes filled with tears. I can't let you. You're not letting me do anything. This is my choice, my redemption. Let me have it. Marcus stepped forward. Patricia, are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. She looked at both of them. Now go, download everything, and when you hear the alarm, run. Elena grabbed her, hugged her. Thank you for everything. Thank me by finishing what we started, by making sure no one ever builds something like this again. I will. I promise. Patricia pulled back. Her eyes were calm, peaceful. Go. Elena and Marcus worked frantically, server after server, file after file, downloading decades of secrets onto encrypted drives, names, transactions, photographs, videos. 20 minutes, Thaddeus warned. They kept working. 15 minutes. More files, more evidence, more ammunition. 10 minutes. You need to leave now. Not yet. Elena. Almost done. The download bar crept toward 100%. 92, 95, 98. 5 minutes, 100. Done. Let's go. They ran for the exit. Behind them, Patricia stood at the control panel. Goodbye, she said quietly. She pressed the button. The alarm screamed. Elena and Marcus sprinted through the compound. Jerome and his men covering their retreat. Guards shouting. Gunfire in the distance. They reached the boat just as the archive building exploded into flames. Go! Jerome shouted. Go! The boat roared away from the island. Behind them, fire consumed everything. 50 years of secrets, 50 years of crimes, 50 years of power, all of it burning. Elena watched until the flames disappeared over the horizon. She did it, Marcus said quietly. She actually did it. She saved us all. At the cost of her own life. Elena wiped her eyes. She said she wanted peace. I hope she found it. The data from Blackwood changed everything. 217 indictments, 43 convictions, 16 ongoing investigations, politicians, judges, CEOs, media executives. The network that had controlled American housing for 50 years collapsed in a matter of months, and Elena Cross became the most famous whistleblower in American history. How does it feel? The reporter asked during her interview. To have brought down such a powerful conspiracy. Elena thought about Patricia Rothwell, about Victoria Ashford, about Jerome Watts and all the people who had risked everything. It doesn't feel like victory, she said. It feels like the beginning. We've exposed one network. But there are others. There will always be others. The work isn't done. It's never done. So what's next? We keep fighting. We keep exposing. We keep making sure that no one, no matter how rich, how powerful, how connected, can operate in darkness. Some people say you've become too powerful, that you're the new establishment. Elena laughed. The establishment doesn't get death threats every week. The establishment doesn't wake up every morning wondering if today's the day someone finally gets to them. I'm not the establishment. I'm just someone who refused to stay silent. And Marcus Kane. How does he fit into all this? Elena smiled. Marcus is my partner. In every sense of the word. We fight together. We dream together. We build together. Is it true you're getting married? Elena looked at the ring on her finger. The ring Marcus had given her 3 weeks ago on the anniversary of the day they met. Yes, we're getting married. When? When the work is done. And when will that be? Elena looked directly into the camera. I'll let you know. 6 months after Blackwood burned, Charles Rothwell died in prison. Heart attack. Alone in his cell. No family beside him. No friends to mourn. Just a 74-year-old man who had spent his entire life believing he was untouchable, dying like everyone else. Elena received the news while reviewing case files. "How do you feel?" Marcus asked. "Nothing. I feel nothing." "That's not true." Elena set down her pen. "You're right. I feel relief, not joy, not satisfaction, just relief that it's finally over." "Is it over?" "The network is dismantled. The archives are destroyed. Rothwell is dead. What's left? The work, the foundation, the future." Elena smiled. Always the optimist. "Someone has to be." Her phone buzzed. Diane. "Elena, turn on the news. Channel 4. Elena grabbed the remote. A reporter stood outside the Capitol building. "Breaking news this hour. President Morrison has just signed the Kane Fair Housing Act into law. Named after billionaire activist Marcus Kane, this landmark legislation represents the most significant expansion of fair housing protections in 50 years. Marcus stared at the screen. "They named it after me." "You earned it." "We earned it, all of us." Elena took his hand. "How does it feel to have a law named after you?" "Surreal. My father spent 30 years fighting for basic dignity. He never saw any progress, never saw any change. And now his son changed the law. His son and the woman he loves." Elena squeezed his hand. "He'd be proud of you." "I hope so. Every day, I hope so." That evening they celebrated with the team. Diane, Colette, Thaddeus, Jerome, Victoria, who had finally emerged from witness protection under her real name, Lucy, cancer-free and glowing with health. "To the Kane Fair Housing Act." Diane raised her glass. "To the team that made it possible," Marcus corrected. "To the people who sacrificed everything," Elena added quietly. Patricia Rothwell, Harrison Cole's wife. All the whistleblowers who came forward. All the victims who finally got justice. The room fell silent. Jerome spoke first. 15 years. 15 years I watched discrimination happen every day. I told myself there was nothing I could do. That the system was too big, too powerful. "What changed?" Lucy asked. Marcus, Elena, watching them refuse to back down, watching them fight when everyone said it was impossible. Jerome shook his head. "They reminded me that impossible is just another word for not yet." Victoria raised her glass. "I spent 12 years being part of the problem. I told myself I was just doing my job, just following orders. But the truth is, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the power, the feeling of being on the winning side." "And now," Elena asked, "now I understand that winning doesn't mean anything if you lose yourself in the process. I can never undo what I did, but I can spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it." "That's all any of us can do," Colette said. "We can't change the past. We can only shape the future." Marcus stood. "Speaking of the future, Elena and I have an announcement." Elena's heart raced. They'd discussed this, planned it, but saying it out loud still felt terrifying. "We're getting married," Marcus said. "Next month, and we want all of you there." The room erupted. Hugs, tears, congratulations. Lucy grabbed Elena. "Finally, I've been waiting for this." "You knew." "Of course I knew. The way he looks at you, a blind person could see he was going to propose. And you didn't say anything." "It wasn't my secret to tell." Lucy pulled back. "I'm happy for you, Elena. After everything you've been through, you deserve this. We both deserve happiness. We do. And now we're both going to get it." 3 weeks before the wedding, Elena received a visitor. "Ms. Cross." "There's a woman here to see you. She says her name is Grace Kane." Elena's heart stopped. Grace Kane, Marcus's mother. The woman she'd never met. The woman Marcus rarely talked about. "Send her in." Grace Kane was 71 years old, silver-haired, sharp-eyed, looking at Elena with an expression that was impossible to read. Ms. Cross. Mrs. Kane, please sit down. Grace remained standing. I won't be long. I came to ask you one question. What question? Do you love my son? Elena didn't hesitate. Yes. More than anything. More than the foundation. More than the cause. More than your career. Yes. You say that easily. Because it's true. I would give up everything for Marcus. The foundation. The recognition. Everything. He's the only thing that matters. Grace studied her for a long moment. My son has been alone for most of his life. Not physically. He's always had people around him. But emotionally. He's built walls so high that no one could reach him. I know. Until you. I didn't do anything special. I just refused to let him push me away. That's exactly what's special about you. Grace's expression softened. I've watched my son for 53 years. I've seen him succeed. I've seen him fail. I've seen him fight battles that would have destroyed lesser men. But I've never seen him happy. Not truly happy. And now I see him smile. I see him laugh. I see him look at you the way his father used to look at me. Grace's voice cracked. His father would have loved you. I wish I could have met him. You would have liked each other. You're both stubborn, both idealistic, both willing to fight for what's right even when it costs you everything. Elena's eyes filled with tears. Mrs. Kane, call me Grace. You're about to be my daughter. We might as well start acting like family. Elena hugged her. This woman she'd been terrified to meet. This woman whose approval meant everything. Thank you, Elena whispered. Don't thank me. Just take care of my son. I will. I promise. The week before the wedding, Vincent Cross resurfaced. Elena was walking to her car when a black sedan pulled up beside her. The window rolled down. Ms. Cross, we need to talk. Elena's blood ran cold. That voice, the voice from the phone, the voice that had threatened her family. Vincent? In person this time. May I have a moment? You can have nothing. Please, I'm not here to threaten you. I'm here to surrender. Elena stared at him. Surrender? The network is finished. Everyone I worked for is dead or in prison. I have nowhere to go. No one to protect me. I'm a man without a country. And you want what sympathy? I want a deal. What kind of deal? I have information, names, accounts, operations that even the Blackwood files didn't capture. I can give you everything, in exchange for immunity. You threatened to kill my sister. I was doing my job. Your job was terrorism. My job was survival. Same as everyone else in that organization. We did what we had to do to stay alive. Elena's jaw tightened. You don't get to play victim. I'm not playing anything. I'm being practical. You can hate me forever and let valuable intelligence disappear. Or you can use me to finish what you started. Why should I trust you? You shouldn't, but you should trust your own judgment. Is the information I'm offering worth more than your desire for revenge? Elena was quiet for a long moment. What do you have? The overseas operations. Rothwell's network wasn't just American. It extended to Europe, Asia, South America. Real estate empires built on the same discriminatory practices, all still operating. How do I know you're telling the truth? Vincent handed her a folder. A sample. 3 operations in London, 2 in Hong Kong, 1 in Sao Paulo. Everything you need to verify. Elena took the folder. I'll look at this. But if you're lying, I'm not. I'm many things, Ms. Cross. But I'm not stupid. I know when a game is over. This isn't a game. No, it's not. That's why I'm surrendering. Vincent paused. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. About your sister. About the threats. I was following orders. That doesn't make it right, but it's the truth. Sorry doesn't change anything. No, but maybe this does. He handed her a second folder. The identity of the man who gave the order to threaten your family. He's still out there, still operating. I can help you find him." Elena's heart pounded. "Who?" "Look at the file. Then call me. You have my number." The sedan pulled away. Elena stood on the sidewalk holding two folders that could change everything. Again. Oh, she showed Marcus that night. "Vincent Cross wants to flip," she said. "He's offering the international network." Marcus studied the files. "This is massive, if it's real." "I know. But can we trust him?" "No, but can we afford not to use him?" "That's the question, isn't it?" Elena sat down beside him. "I spent 2 years hating that man. He threatened Lucy. He threatened everything I love. Part of me wants to watch him rot in prison. And the other part? The other part knows that hate is a luxury we can't afford. If Vincent's information can save even one family from discrimination, then I have to use it, no matter how much it costs me emotionally." "That's very mature. I've had good teachers." Marcus pulled her close. "Whatever you decide, I support you. Even if I let Vincent walk free. Even then. Because I trust you. I trust your judgment. I trust your heart. What if I'm wrong? Then you're wrong. And we deal with the consequences together. That's what partners do." Elena rested her head on his shoulder. "I don't deserve you." "Yes, you do. You deserve everything good in this world, Elena, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you get it." Elena made the deal. Vincent Cross received immunity in exchange for full cooperation. He provided names, accounts, and evidence that led to investigations in 12 countries. Some people criticized her, said she was letting a monster walk free. But Elena didn't care about critics. She cared about results. And the results were undeniable. Within 6 months of Vincent's cooperation, the international network collapsed. 73 convictions across 4 continents, billions of dollars in fines, thousands of families who finally received justice. The man who had ordered the threats against Lucy, Marcus's old enemy from the early days. A silent partner in Rothwell's empire. He was arrested in Geneva on 17 counts of conspiracy. He would die in prison. Justice wasn't perfect. It never was. But it was enough. The wedding took place on a Saturday afternoon in October. The brownstone in Brooklyn. The home Marcus and Elena had shared for over a year. The home where they'd planned strategies, survived threats, fallen deeper in love. 50 guests. No media, no cameras, just family. Jerome stood as Marcus's best man, the security guard who had refused to follow illegal orders. The man who had provided 15 years of recordings, the friend who had become family. Lucy stood as Elena's maid of honor, the sister who had survived cancer, the sister whose life had been threatened, the sister who was now thriving. Grace Kane sat in the front row, tears streaming down her face. Victoria Ashford sat in the back, still uncomfortable, but determined to be present. Diane Mercer officiated. "We're gathered here today," Diane began, "to celebrate something remarkable. Not just a wedding, not just a union, but a partnership that has changed the world." She looked at Marcus, then at Elena. "I've known Marcus for 20 years. I've watched him build an empire. I've watched him fight battles that would have broken lesser men. But I've never seen him as happy as he is with Elena." Marcus took Elena's hand. "And Elena," Diane continued, "I met you as a frightened young woman who had just risked everything to do the right thing. Today, you're a leader, a warrior, a force that has brought down empires." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "What you've built together isn't just love. It's a movement, a legacy, a promise to every person who's ever been told they don't belong, that they don't deserve, that they're not enough." Diane smiled. "Marcus Kane, do you take Elena Cross to be your wife? To love her, honor her, and fight beside her for all the days of your life?" "I do." Elena Cross, do you take Marcus Kane to be your husband? To love him, honor him, and fight beside him for all the days of your life? I do. Then by the power vested in me by the state of New York, I pronounce you husband and wife. Marcus, kiss your bride. He did. The room erupted in applause. And for one perfect moment, nothing else mattered. Not the network, not the foundation, not the endless battles ahead. Just two people who had found each other in the midst of chaos. Just love. The reception was small, intimate. Grace Kane gave the first toast. My husband William worked in a factory for 37 years. Every day he came home exhausted. Every day he faced discrimination. Every day he wondered if things would ever change. She paused. He didn't live to see this moment. He didn't live to see his son become a billionaire. He didn't live to see the laws change. He didn't live to see Marcus find love. Tears rolled down her cheeks. But I know with every fiber of my being that he's here today, watching, smiling, proud beyond words. She raised her glass. To William, to Marcus, to Elena, and to everyone who refused to let them make us feel small. To William, everyone echoed. Jerome spoke next. I'm not good with words, never have been, but I want to say something. He looked at Marcus and Elena. 15 years ago, I made a choice. I chose to stay silent. I chose to protect myself. I chose to let discrimination happen because fighting back seemed impossible. His voice cracked. Marcus and Elena taught me that nothing is impossible. They taught me that one person can change the world. They taught me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. He raised his glass. To courage, and to the two bravest people I know. Lucy went last. My sister saved my life. Not just physically, not just by making sure I got treatment, but by showing me what it means to stand up for what's right. She looked at Elena. When I was in the hospital, when I didn't know if I would live or die, I thought about you. I thought about how you gave up everything to do the right thing. And I decided that if I survived, I would live a life worthy of your sacrifice. Elena was crying openly now. I survived. And now I get to watch my sister marry the love of her life. I get to see her change the world. I get to be part of something bigger than myself. Lucy raised her glass. To my sister, my hero, my best friend. May your marriage be as strong as your spirit. That night, Marcus and Elena danced alone in the brownstone. No music, just them. How does it feel? Marcus asked. To be Mrs. Kane. Different, good different. Any regrets? Not one. Elena pulled back to look at him. Do you remember what Victoria said that day in the showroom? I remember everything about that day. She said people like you don't touch $40 million. She was so certain, so absolutely sure that she was right. She was wrong. She was wrong, but not just about the money. She was wrong about you, about me, about everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. What do you mean? Victoria thought she was powerful because she could decide who belonged and who didn't. But real power isn't about exclusion. It's about building something that includes everyone, something that lifts everyone up. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And we're going to keep doing it, every day, for the rest of our lives. Marcus kissed her forehead. I love you, Elena Kane. I love you too, Marcus Kane. So what happens now? Elena smiled. Now we keep fighting. Fighting for what? For everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. For every family turned away from a home. For every child who grows up thinking they're not good enough. For every person who's ever looked at an impossible situation and wondered if they should just give up. That's a lot of people. That's everyone. Everyone who's ever struggled. Everyone who's ever doubted. Everyone who's ever needed someone to believe in them. And you're going to save them all. Not save, inspire. Show them that change is possible. Show them that fighting back matters. Show them that even when the system seems rigged, even when the powerful seem untouchable, even when hope seems foolish, it's not. Marcus held her close. You're going to change the world. We're going to change the world. Together. 1 year later. Elena stood at a podium in Washington, D.C., 3,000 people in the audience, millions watching online. 2 years ago, she began, I was a junior broker at a real estate firm. I had a career, a future, a plan. And then I watched a woman tell a black billionaire that people like him don't touch $40 million. She paused. I could have stayed silent. I almost did. Silence was safer. Silence was easier. Silence was what the system expected from me. Her voice strengthened. But I didn't stay silent. I spoke up. I risked everything. And because I did, because Marcus Kane refused to back down, because dozens of brave people came forward with evidence and testimony and truth, the entire system changed. Applause rippled through the crowd. The Kane Fair Housing Act is now law. The Rothwell network is destroyed. Thousands of families have received justice. And we've proven something that matters more than any legislation. She leaned into the microphone. We've proven that ordinary people can defeat extraordinary evil, that courage is contagious, that one voice raised at the right moment can echo across the world. She looked at Marcus sitting in the front row, at Jerome beside him, at Lucy, at Grace, at everyone who had fought and sacrificed and believed. But we're not done. We'll never be done, because discrimination doesn't end with one law. Racism doesn't die with one conviction. Injustice doesn't disappear because we want it to. Her voice rose. Every day somewhere in this country, someone is being told they don't belong. Someone is being denied a home because of their skin color. Someone is being treated as less than human because of who they are or where they come from. And every day we have a choice. We can stay silent, or we can speak up. We can accept injustice, or we can fight it. We can believe that change is impossible, or we can prove that it's not. She stepped back from the podium. My name is Elena Kane. 2 years ago, I was nobody. Today I'm standing here because I refuse to let fear win, because I refuse to let hate win, because I refuse to let them make me forget who I am. She raised her fist. And I am just getting started. The crowd exploded. 3,000 people on their feet, cheering, crying, believing. Marcus found her backstage. That was incredible. That was the truth. Same thing. He pulled her close. Your father would be proud. My father wasn't in my life. I know, but somewhere he's watching. And he's proud. Trust me. Elena smiled through her tears. How do you know? Because I'm proud. Because everyone who's ever met you is proud. Because you've become someone worth believing in. I couldn't have done it without you. Yes, you could have. You just didn't have to. That night they returned to Brooklyn, to the brownstone, to home. Elena stood at the window looking out at the city. What are you thinking? Marcus asked. About Victoria, about that first day, about how different everything is now. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd stayed silent? Sometimes, I'd still have my old career, my old life, my old fiancé. Do you miss any of it? Not for a second. Marcus wrapped his arms around her from behind. We've come a long way. We have. And we have a long way to go. We do. Elena turned to face him. Marcus, can I tell you something? Anything. When I first met you, I thought I was saving you. I thought I was being brave for you. But the truth is, you saved me. You showed me that I could be more than I ever thought possible. You showed me that standing up for what's right isn't just a sacrifice, it's a gift. A gift. The gift of becoming who you were always meant to be. I was sleepwalking through my life. Accepting things I shouldn't have accepted, ignoring things I shouldn't have ignored. You woke me up. You woke yourself up. I just happened to be there when it happened. Elena shook her head. Don't do that. Don't minimize what you mean to me. What you mean to everyone who's ever watched you refuse to bow. Who's ever watched you stand tall when everyone else would have broken. Elena, you are the most remarkable man I've ever known. And I am so grateful, so unbelievably grateful, that I get to spend my life with you. Marcus's eyes glistened. I feel the same way. Every day. Every single day I wake up amazed that you chose me. I didn't choose you. I found you. There's a difference. What difference? Choice implies deliberation, logic, analysis. But that's not what happened. I saw you standing there refusing to be diminished, and something inside me just knew that I would follow you anywhere, knew that I would fight beside you forever, knew that my life would never be the same. And is that a good thing? Elena smiled. It's the best thing, the only thing that matters. She kissed him. Deep, true, forever. 5 years later, the Kane Foundation had offices in 12 countries. They'd filed over 1,000 lawsuits, won hundreds, changed laws in 17 nations. Marcus and Elena had 2 children, a boy named William after Marcus's father, a girl named Claire after Patricia Rothwell's daughter. They were raising them in Brooklyn, in the brownstone, teaching them that courage mattered more than comfort, that standing up mattered more than fitting in, that love, real fierce, uncompromising love, could change the world. One evening, Marcus found Elena on the roof. What are you doing up here? Thinking. About what? About everything we've built, everything we've sacrificed, everything we've become. Any regrets? Not one. Marcus stood beside her. You know what I think about sometimes? What? Victoria Ashford, wherever she is, whatever she's doing. I wonder if she knows. Knows what? That her words, those terrible, hateful words, changed the world. Not the way she intended, but they did. They sparked everything that came after. Elena nodded slowly. She wanted to diminish you. Instead, she unleashed you. She unleashed us. She unleashed us. They stood in silence for a moment, looking out at the city, at the world they'd changed. Elena, I need to tell you something. What? I'm tired. Elena looked at him. Tired? Not of fighting, not of the work, just tired. We've been at war for 5 years, longer if you count everything that came before. What are you saying? I'm saying I want to slow down, not stop. Just slow down. Spend more time with the kids, with you, with the life we've built. Elena took his hand. I've been thinking the same thing. You have? For months, but I was afraid to say it. Afraid you'd think I was giving up. You could never give up. It's not in your DNA. Neither could you. Marcus smiled. Then maybe it's time to let someone else lead for a while. Diane, Colette, the next generation of fighters we've trained. The movement doesn't need us anymore. The movement will always need people, but it doesn't need us specifically. We've built something that can survive without us. That's the whole point. Elena leaned against him. So what do we do now? We live. We love. We raise our children to be better than us. And we enjoy the peace we've earned. Peace. Elena tested the word. I'm not sure I remember what that feels like. Then let's find out. Together. 10 years later, Elena stood at another podium, this time accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Housing Coalition. Her hair was gray now, her face lined with age and experience and wisdom, but her voice was still strong. They gave me this award for a lifetime of achievement. But the truth is, my greatest achievement has nothing to do with lawsuits or legislation or bringing down criminal empires. She looked at Marcus in the front row, older, gray-haired, still the most handsome man she'd ever seen. My greatest achievement is the life I've built with my husband, the children we've raised, the love we've shared for 15 years. Her eyes moved to William and Claire, 16 and 14 now, already showing signs of the fighters they would become. And my second greatest achievement, standing up, speaking up, refusing to let fear and silence win. She gripped the podium. 15 years ago, a woman told my husband that people like him don't touch $40 million. She was wrong. But she was also giving voice to something that millions of people believe. Something that's been believed for centuries. Her voice strengthened. That some people don't belong. That some people don't deserve. That some people are less than human because of the color of their skin or the circumstances of their birth. I've spent my life fighting that lie. And I'll spend whatever time I have left fighting it. Because it is a lie. The most dangerous lie in human history. She paused. Every person belongs. Every person deserves dignity. Every person has the right to dream and build and thrive. That's not politics. That's not ideology. That's truth. She raised her chin. My name is Elena Kane. 15 years ago, I was a nobody who decided to speak up. Today I'm standing here because I refuse to let them make me small. Because I refuse to let them make anyone small. She looked directly at the audience. And if there's one message I want you to take from this one truth that I've learned in 15 years of fighting, it's this. Your voice matters. Your courage matters. Your willingness to stand up when everyone else sits down matters. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone else to go first. Be the one who speaks. Be the one who fights. Be the one who refuses to accept injustice. Her voice rang through the hall. Because people like you, people exactly like you, can touch $40 million, can change laws, can bring down empires, can transform the world. All you have to do is start. That night, Marcus and Elena sat together on their rooftop, 68 and 44 years old. A lifetime of battles behind them. A lifetime of love between them. That was a hell of a speech, Marcus said. I meant every word. I know you did. That's what makes it powerful. Elena rested her head on his shoulder. Do you remember what you said to me the night of Blackwood? When I asked what happens next, I said we keep fighting. And we did. For 15 years. Was it worth it? Elena thought about everything they'd sacrificed, everything they'd suffered, everything they'd lost, and everything they'd gained. Yes, every second. Even the hard parts. Especially the hard parts. Because the hard parts made us who we are. Marcus pulled her closer. I love you, Elena Kane. Today. Tomorrow. Forever. I love you too, Marcus Kane. More than I ever thought possible. More than I have words to say. They sat in silence, watching the stars emerge over Brooklyn. 15 years ago, a woman had told Marcus that people like him didn't belong, that he couldn't touch $40 million. That he was less than nothing. She was wrong. Because Marcus Kane didn't just touch $40 million. He didn't just change one law or bring down one criminal. He changed the world. He changed hearts. He changed the very definition of what was possible. And he did it with the woman he loved beside him. Every step, every battle, every victory. They had fought. They had suffered. They had sacrificed. But they had never given up. And in the end, that was what mattered. Not the money, not the fame, not the awards, or the legislation, or the history books. What mattered was that two people had looked at an impossible situation and said, not today, not ever. We will not be silent. We will not be small. We will not let them win. And they didn't. Victoria Ashford had been wrong about Marcus Kane, wrong about Elena Cross, wrong about everyone who'd ever been told they didn't belong. Because belonging isn't something that can be given or taken. It isn't something that depends on money or status or the color of your skin. Belonging is something you claim, something you fight for, something you earn by refusing to accept any definition of yourself that makes you less than whole. Marcus Kane claimed his belonging the moment he refused to leave that showroom. Elena Cross claimed hers the moment she spoke up. And together they proved something that would echo through history. People like them don't just touch $40 million. People like them change the world. The end.